Welcome to Danger and Danielle's Tactical Breakdown. We're going to look back to the 1-1 result the Quakes had in Philadelphia. And the key tactical change we're going to talk about today is the decision by Michael Starry to go from 4 backs in the first half to 5 backs in the second half. And part of that decision, I think, was because Philadelphia was sending a ton of numbers forward in the first half, really overwhelming the channels for the Earthquakes defensively. And thanks to the good center back pairing and also some key saves by Andrew Tarbell, they were able to stay in it.
Yeah, but they're pushing so many people forward. They were playing such a risky game at the back. The fans have to understand that Jim Curtin were pushing so many people forward that it was creating opportunity for the Quakes going the other way. And I thought on the road it set up nicely because they had these opportunities to score. Vacco had a 2-on-1 with Chris Wondolowski that maybe he should have passed, but he got the shot off, could have been a goal, and then they scored the goal itself. We ended up with a nice release pass by Godoy, set up a 5 versus 3, and that's the game that Philadelphia was playing in the first half.
So let's take a look at that goal and break it down a little bit. When a team is sending so many numbers forward, like Philadelphia did, it's absolutely key to transition quickly to attack. Anibal Godoy does that on this goal. Danny Houston, who was pretty quiet, frustratingly quiet for me in the first half, finally was able to get a little bit of hold of the ball and make the difference.
Yeah, he got the ball in the outside space, and for me the difference between what Houston did and what Vacco was doing in the first half was he took the time to get his head up, look where his teammates was. There was a 5 against 3 offensive advantage for the Quakes, and he picked out the run of Magnus Eriksson. Magnus on his weaker right foot, but he picks out the top corner. It's a great goal, well struck goal, but nicely created by the vision of Danny Houston.
Yeah, and a goal really done against the run of play and really switched the momentum for the Earthquakes in the first half.
Absolutely.
So in the second half, Michael Starry, he makes what we both agree is a pretty good decision to change tactically the formation, moving from 4 backs to 5 backs in the second half. Tactically, why did that help the Earthquakes in the second 45?
Well, they were having all sorts of issues with numbers coming forward in the first half. Basically, you're winning 1-0 at halftime, maybe against a winner play. But now all the players in front of the back 5. He moved Flo Youngworth into the middle of Quintana and Cummins. Good organisation. The matchup on the outside, taking the space away, is Lima and Queberg. So that spacing is good. They're set up solid. He also matched up 3 against 3 in the midfield. And I think that was the key to make sure that those players were tracking the runs from the midfield area. Maybe not as much offense, although they still did have good chances, but they had very good organisation and good shape defensively.
Yeah, and it just was simpler decision making, I think, for the Earthquakes. But having said that now, great, you go into this kind of prevent defense, but you still give up a goal.
Well, you know, I think that it was good play, number 1, by number 9, Pico against Nick Lima. He's beaten Nick, and he's put a nice stand-up ball to the far post. I thought the position of Shea Salinas, unfortunately, he got tucked in a little bit too deep, and he left that big space at the far post. And then maybe Wonder caught ball watching a little bit with the late run from Bedoya. But there was good numbers in the box. There's a lot of people in the box, and I still think that the Quakes weren't giving away chance after chance. They sort of restricted Philadelphia mostly to long-range shoots in the second half, other than that opportunity. So I thought it was the right decision, and it proved to be the right decision for that particular game.
Yeah, and now this doesn't mean that all of a sudden now we think, oh, the Quakes should play 5 backs for every game. Certainly that was a right tactical decision for that moment, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the shape that we see this Saturday or going forward, right?
Maybe against Houston, because they play 3 up front, very similar style, a lot of speed up there, but that kind of thing. But you know, playing at home maybe a little bit different for Michael Starry to start off that way. But the thing I do like about the way the team's set up with Flo in the midfield is that transition can be made on the fly to go 3 at the back. Just like that, if you need it.
You don't need a sub to do that.
Great work, once again, by Quintana, Cummins. A lot of good interceptions, but there was a lot of work for Andrew Tarbell to do as well. I thought that the saves he made in the first half were critical. Some of them were excellent. I would still like to see him do a little bit of better job, and I think the team would, on his distribution with his feet. He gave the ball away 2 or 3 times, and the Quakes did seem to go back to him quite a lot, which puts him under pressure, especially with the high press, but he needs to do a little bit better, and sometimes being a little bit stronger in some of these crosses, coming out with these punches. I remember he made one good decision with a 250 punch. Other ones could have been a bit stronger, but overall, if you look at the total package of his contribution, it was a game-winning performance by Andrew Tarbell.
I agree, and I think the thing that makes me think positively about the situation is he is a big, strong guy. So to me, his ability to be able to be strong and come out on crosses, that's something that I think he can easily make some improvements on. And I've seen him be good with his feet.
Yeah, I think that the fact that Philadelphia were so high and they were pressing so many people forward, playing a very risky game, it's tough just to reflect upon that game and say that's a weakness, that's a strength, because it was a little bit of a crazy game Philadelphia were playing.
Yeah, well, congratulations to Andrew Tarbell for making those huge saves that you did. So that's it. Thanks for joining Danger and Danielle's Tactical Breakdown. Speaking of Houston, be sure to get your tickets for this Saturday. We'll be right here at Avaya.